dear.
We are back, and as promised, I am joined by Ivy Tech, Jan Bailey.
Yes.
She's going to tell us a little bit about corporate college, but you've been at Ivy Tech for a long time, so tell people a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have been at Ivy Tech over 28 years, and I've worked on the Logansport campus and the Kokomo campus. I've had the opportunity to really work in several different areas. So with that opportunity, it really kind of comes together in what I'm doing now. I've been teaching in the classroom, which I think is always nice to be close to the students.
Sure.
And then I've been a division chair, which means you kind of look at the operations of a division, and this was in the business division. So, you know, what new technologies can you bring into the classroom and that kind of thing. I was a dean of student affairs, so trying to get all the students admitted, financial aid, you know, that was a good experience. And then I was the dean on the Logansport campus. So
and they've seen a lot of changes.
They have seen a tremendous change. You know, when I was up there, we were in a storefront in a shopping center.
Yes.
And then to have that beautiful building now on 24 and 35 is just really an amazing opportunity.
And
it's a beautiful building.
It sits on such a beautiful landscape.
It does. It does. It does. And the technology that they have to teach individuals the newest things is just great. So if you haven't visited that campus, it'd be one to visit. But, you know, we have lots of opportunities in all the campuses that we have in the Kokomo region. So it's a great opportunity for
and it's a partnership between campuses anyway.
It is, absolutely. There's faculty that go back and forth between the campuses, and you know, we always are together for meetings and those types of things. So it's very good.
So let's talk about corporate college. Right. A lot of people don't know what that is.
No, I'm really glad that you're giving us the opportunity to talk about corporate college, because it is sort of a best kept secret in the Ivy Tech system. Well, the corporate college provides premier training to businesses, industry, individuals, and organizations. And we call it short-term training. So some people would say that's the non-credit arm of the college. But through non-credit, there's some amazing things that are happening these days in what they're calling stackable credentials that get a person a skill, get them in the workforce, and then have this opportunity to use what they have to build on to maybe even get toward a degree.
Now, would it be fair to say experience? Are they getting experience doing that, or?
In some cases they are, because it depends on how the program is put together. You know, I'm currently working on one that will be an apprenticeship type of program. So that individual will engage in 4 years to really kind of learn the trade that they're into. And then after that, with the learning, the earning, and the education, they have an apprenticeship credential that they could take on to then get a degree too. Well, some of the services that we offer through the corporate college are what we call open enrollment. So for those that are, for example, our attorneys in our area, in a 3-year period of time, they are required to have 30 units or hours of training to keep their license active in the state of Indiana. So for them, we can offer some continuing legal units is what they call it, but continuing renewal units or continuing education units, people call it different
But it's basically just sharpening their skills.
It is.
Making sure they understand and stay.
It is. And to keep their license in the state of Indiana. So, you know, we do those types of things in that professional realm. But I think our core business is probably working with employers to do what we call customized training. So if they come to us and they say, I have a need for this skill in my industry, and this is how I would like it delivered, and could you also incorporate some of our documents into that training, then we sort of customize, and I call it education engineering, because, because we can really accommodate the needs that they have with the request to get the outcome that they want. So again, that is some short-term training that we do.
Are you noticing gaps or anything in the...
There are a lot of gaps. I have just returned from the Workforce Development Institute in San Diego, put on by the American Association of Community Colleges. And the things that we hear locally are the things that are heard nationally. There are tremendous skill gaps. It doesn't mean that there aren't the people to do the jobs. It just means that the matching of the skills that the employer needs is really not happening right now.
Okay.
And in two particular areas that I can address pretty quickly this morning, one is in the manufacturing sector.
Sure, which is Chrysler.
It is,
GM.
it is. And all of our manufacturers around are really looking for certain skill sets. And actually, there's jobs coming up in the manufacturing sector. I know that, you know, from past experiences, there's a lot of people that think that manufacturing is not a viable occupation, but it is. And the technology that they need these days is just amazing with what they can aspire to do with PLCs, with robots, and automation in the industry.
Because let's be honest, everybody likes to have fancy cars.
They do.
And everybody wants the cheap way to get those fancy cars.
They do.
And that's where the technology that you're speaking of kind of comes into play.
It does come into play. It does.
And it's easy to get on those ground stages when you have the training, when you have the know-how.
Right. Now, the other area that is a gap is in the information technology, those computer expertise that we need and experts that we need that do the network security or the systems analysis. That seems to be a very critical need in the United States and in our area too. We know how prime it is to have somebody that has that technical knowledge.
Right.
And they really have acquired a lot of skills that are needed. So we need to encourage people to do that too. There's good jobs.
So to water that down a little bit, what that basically means is we need a security officer for technology for your office, and that can can be small business, that can be large business, that can be up to multi-billion-dollar companies.
Right. Somebody to run your network, you know, and there is still programming that goes on in our company. So that is really a skill that they're seeing as a gap too in our workforce. So, you know, those are two areas. Now there's others, but you know, our job is really to talk to that employer and say, what do you need? And through short-term training, begin to do that entry level. And with this new concept of stackable credentials, if training ends in a certification, we do something at the college called crosswalk it into an academic degree. So they could pursue an academic degree, and with transferability through Ivy Tech, you could get to a baccalaureate degree, but you can take it in smaller chunks and get something you can achieve and take to an employer, work, and then go back to school too is what we
So much going on, so much information. We'll be right back with more from Ivy Tech. We are back. We are sitting right here talking about all kinds of stuff at Ivy Tech, and I want to talk about Advancing Manufacturing Initiative because there's quite a few partners, right?
There are quite a few partners. The Advancing Manufacturing Initiative is actually a partnership between our Region 4 Workforce Board and employers in our 12 county areas that they serve, and the Ivy Tech corporate colleges in Lafayette and in Kokomo.
Sure.
And the initiative really is an opportunity for employers to really work with our workforce system in telling them what jobs they have available.
Okay.
And then through the system, if there is training or if there is a matching of an individual, that's part of the whole system.
Okay.
So if an individual is applying for a position, some of them require a certain credential. And that credential is a certified production technician credential.
Okay.
It's actually an entry-level certification to production manufacturing.
Wow.
So in that course, we call it short-term training, but it's 140 hours of
That's not short-term to me.
It's not short-term, but what we can do in the corporate college is to really schedule them, not really in that semester system. So in 5 weeks, you know, if you come 4 days a week in the mornings, you can get your 140 hours in. Well, if somebody does the math and that's not quite right, we do get the 140 hours in
Believe me, the training is there.
Okay. But it really covers some basics. It covers safety, which is crucial to manufacturing. Quality, again, an integral part. Manufacturing processes and maintenance. So an individual has common language that goes in entry-level manufacturing, and it's a systems approach. You don't want somebody coming in and just doing their job and not knowing how it fits into the rest of the system. So it really is a good course, and they're starting with that credential. So they're supporting individuals who want to be a part of the manufacturing sector with a scholarship to take that course. And there is an application that they have to apply for through the Advancing Manufacturing Initiative. And then they are screened and they're given some basic assessments. And there is this requirement of a drug test that they do, but it's all the entry-level criteria that a manufacturer would do to bring somebody on board.
And let's talk about the drug test just real quickly, because most places outside require that anyway. So it's just one of those things that you just kind of get out of the way.
It is. And really the idea is that you are investing in an individual that is really going to get the job.
Right.
So they're meeting all the entry-level criteria.
And go through the training.
And go through the training.
And be there long-term.
And be there long-term.
And take that next step to make sure that your company or your corporation, when they're investing in that person, can rely on that person.
Absolutely.
And the technology that they learn.
So when you talk about a system, a workforce development system does require that those that are in charge of an economic growth region that we're in have initiatives to match the needs of the worker, the needs of the employer with the skills of the worker. The Advancing Manufacturing Initiative is that mechanism that we have to do that. Employers then partner with the Region 4 Workforce Board and say, this is what I need, these are who I'll hire, and I'll agree to do certain things in that criteria. And then the individuals coming through are getting the training, which right now is that Certified Production Technician course. But it could be later on a welding need, or it could be a CNC need.
Now, as instructors, do they kind of have, oh, Johnny sitting in my class, he might be perfect for that, or is that just one of those things that they say?
Well, you know, that's one way, but the other thing is that they do with this initiative is to have what they call reverse job fairs. So at the end of the course, the employers come in, and it's sort of like a speed dating kind of thing, I guess, but you know, they have an opportunity to talk to those that have come through the class, so they know them, and they also will offer tours of their facility. So there's this familiarity with the person going through the class, and then there is this opportunity for them to know the company better if they do tours and that type of thing. So it is a systems approach to getting the workforce that is needed and matching the skills that are needed with the individuals that then obtain the skills.
Now, once I've been enrolled and I've started your course, you know, as a college student myself back in the day, you know, you might start going one direction. Now, is there opportunity to change and say, oh my gosh, I may be a little more interested in this. Can I take a left turn?
Well, you know, in the short-term training, not so much. In the degree area, that kind of happens. You know, we try to do the best advising we can to let a person know if this training will lead to this type of an opportunity. So, you know, in that short term, you don't have that chance to really turn that corner very much.
But that's one of the questions that I've heard is, you know, do I have an opportunity to change my mind or change a direction?
But I will tell you, once you receive this credential, this particular one is a stackable credential, as what we're referring to them now, that it will be 6 credits toward the advanced manufacturing degree.
Very nice.
Or the industrial technology degree. So, you know, you do have an opportunity to get in another venue to continue to pursue your education.
Absolutely. All right, even more with Ivy Tech right after this.
Paul Richards GM Center at 769 West Main Street in Peru is celebrating their grand reopening sale. Paul Richards can put you in a new 2012 Buick Enclave for just $279 per month, or a 2012 Buick Verano that gets up to 38 miles per gallon for only $199 per month. Visit the grand reopening sale going on now at Paul Richards GM Center, 769 West Main Street in Peru for all the details. Hurry, sale ends soon.
At St. Joseph Hospital, we tell our patients, you matter to me.
Judy Lauterbaugh, nurse and manager of the St. Joseph Day Surgery Department.
Recently, I was notified that St. Joseph Day Surgery had the best patient satisfaction scores in Ascension Health, which is the largest nonprofit health system in the country. Someone asked me how a hospital in Kokomo, Indiana satisfies patients better than larger hospitals in bigger cities. I think it's that we really listen to what each patient says and doesn't say, yet communicates with their body language. Our team is really tuned in to our patients. Surgery is frightening. Our patients know we're committed to them from the first greeting to the last see you soon. At St. Joseph Hospital, when we say, you matter to me, we're really saying that here you'll be cared about as much as you'll be cared for.
To find out more, visit us online at stjoseph.stvincent.org.
The end of summer sales going on now at King's Heating and Plumbing in Kokomo. Save big on high-efficiency furnace and AC systems from King's and Rheem. Call King's now, 457-6664.
Hi, this is Jerry with King's Heating and Plumbing in Kokomo since 1946.
We are back with Ivy Tech, and the chair has changed. This is Jennifer. She's going to tell us all we need to know, but first introduce yourself.
Well, I am Jennifer Hughes. I am the Program Manager of Open Enrollment and Continuing Ed for Ivy Tech Corporate College, and I've been in that position for a little over a year.
Nice.
I love it. It's a wonderful job. And, I've been with the college for about 3 years.
Very nice. So we want to talk about how all this begins. When does the actual training that we just spoke of, when does that actually start and take place? How can I get signed up?
Okay. The Certified Production Technician actually starts in Logansport on February 25th.
So very soon.
So very soon. And it does take a little bit of time to get through that process that Jan had mentioned with the Advancing Manufacturing Scholarship. And so we would encourage people to call us right away to get started in that. We also have a class here in Kokomo that will be starting on March 4th.
Okay.
So we have a little bit of time there, but we'd like to get as many people through the program as possible. So the earlier they call me, the better.
Okay,
so,
and what's that phone number, or what's that?
The phone number is 765-459-0561, extension 283. And that will take you right to my office.
Very nice. And is there anything that they should bring? Is there anything that they should know? I mean, is there something that they should have with them when they...
No, actually, I can register them right over the phone and give them the information they need to get started with that scholarship. So they just need to call me and we can get them started.
Great.
Through that process. It is in Logansport, again, February 25th, and that will be Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then the Kokomo class starts on March 4th. It is Monday through Thursday from 11:30 to 4:30.
So it's not so bad.
No, not so bad.
And you just started an agricultural seminar series as well.
Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about that?
We're very excited about the Ag Seminar Series. We have partnered with Kokomo Grain, who has generously offered to pay for the first 20 seats in each class.
Oh, say that again.
So first, they will pay for the first 20 seats in each class. We still have some of those seats available.
That is fantastic.
These series kind of bounce back and forth from Logansport, Peru, Kokomo, and this week we will be here in Kokomo with Ag Finance for Beginners. Carrie Mobby and Michelle Weigert are the instructors, and they'll be talking about how you can finance the farm. And they do a really great job for us last year, so I'm really excited.
Because there still is truly a need for that.
Yes, definitely. Next week we'll be in Peru with Farmland Investing and Cash Rents with Howard Halderman. That's a very popular one. I think I have 1 or 2 seats left in that course that are still being sponsored. Now, we do have a $30 tuition fee for those that want to attend, even if they don't get the free seats.
And $30 isn't so bad.
Oh, no, not at all. You get a snack and a drink. And
I'm in. When it comes to the snack, I'm all about it.
Yes. So, and then the week after that, we'll be in Logansport with Precision Agriculture, which is just a really fascinating seminar. So, Scott Maple of Maple Farms is the instructor for that. And then we'll come back to Kokomo for the wrap-up, which is the pesticide safety, and that actually has a certification attached to it, so it's a little bit longer. It's from 6 to 8 or 6 to 9 p.m. For that one. All of the others are 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It is an additional $10 that is not covered by Kokomo Grain. So that one last year had over 70 people in it, so it's a very popular one. I still have a few seats left in that that are covered by Kokomo Grain as well. So
fantastic. Yes. So if I want to register, what do I need to do?
You just need to call me at 459-0561 extension 283, and I can take your registration right over the phone.
It's that easy.
That easy.
And what's the most exciting part that you think that they're going to learn or gain from this?
I think that this whole series is just wonderful for people of all ages. If you are already in the farming business, you get to learn about the latest technology, the latest services that are available through financing.
That means to start your own farm, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But also for high school students and our current agriculture program, those students in that program as well would benefit by learning about the latest topics in agriculture. So if they're considering a career in agriculture, this is a wonderful way to get your feet wet.
Ivy Tech, they're bringing it all home. Whether you drive the most fancy automobiles in industry or the basic food and grain, you guys offer it.
Yes.
And one more time, what's that phone number, just so that they know?
It is 459-0561, extension 283.
They literally have it all. It's Ivy Tech. It's close to home. There are so many campuses all over town. There's so many campuses in other communities that are even driving distances. You definitely want to check it out.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being part of it.
Thank you.
And we're excited to have you back in the hot seat because I know there's all kinds of stuff coming out of Ivy Tech right now. It is a great time to continue your education at a fraction of the cost, but a better quality, because you're right here, you're right next to home. Yes. It's fantastic. Yes. So thank you very much, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.